Good morning, Seller Sessions, and good morning, Sergii Popovych. Thank you for joining me today on this amazing Monday for Seller Sessions. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's such a pleasure meeting you. We met at a meetup in Los Angeles. That is correct, right?
Exactly. A year
And we got,
ago.
yes. Oh my God, it's been a year.
Yeah, time flies.
I feel like we're just kind of writing off this whole year during COVID. I'm like, that anything happen in this year. I mean, of course, everybody's growing their business, but I feel like we missed such a big chunk of our life during this pandemic. How has been the pandemic treating you? Let's put it this way. Have you been
Uh,
doing anything?
I've been active like professionally and like started my company end of 2019. So when the pandemic hit, I felt like it's a bit of a time for me to focus and maybe a little bit more and focus on what's going to be important for me in the future. So I can't complain a lot, and especially in the commerce space, I'm sure you're aware of that. Like this whole pandemic situation gave a little bit of a boost for e-commerce. So yeah, I can't complain. I got some business, lots of clients, good projects. So overall, it was good for me.
That's amazing, Sergi. And you are close to me. You're in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, in Santa Monica.
How long have you lived there, and where are you from?
So I was born and raised in Ukraine, and I moved to States when I was 26 in 2012. And I've been probably all over the California. Started with Mountain View, Palo Alto, San Francisco. Spent a little bit of a time like in those like Silicon Valley and working for startups, working on my startup with a partner. And I moved to LA in 2014 and kind of fell in love with the city. And I felt like it was a good compromise between busy New York and sort of like a slow and very tech-oriented San Francisco Bay Area. So I fell in love with the weather, fell in love with the people, and decided to stay here. So it's been a while.
What about San Francisco? You didn't want to stay there?
I love the city. It definitely has a great vibe. And if you're into startups and tech, I think this is the perfect place to be. But culturally, I felt a little bit trapped there. And maybe for me, it was not enough diversity when it comes to like a social life. Everything was around startups, venture investments, and I was a little bit tired and overwhelmed with that.
I see. You haven't thought about moving anywhere else? Is LA going to be your home, you think, for a while?
Actually, it's a great question because I'm thinking about moving somewhere else right now. I have a few options that I'm considering currently, Seattle or New York. So let's see. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, but I will definitely travel and see what's the city that I like more and move there.
Okay, so you're not leaving because of the taxes, because you're going to another high tax place if you go to
Exactly.
New York.
No, taxes is definitely not the reason why I'm leaving. I think it's just time for me to switch it up and see some other cities and maybe experience different lifestyle and try to build a community with people maybe who are in different areas and fields.
I love that. I've been toying with the idea of moving for for a while now. Just the procrastinator, I guess, in me holding me back a little bit. I feel the same like you. I feel like there's time for a change. I just, even the smallest changes, they need to be very well planned and prepared. So I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not there yet. But tell us, what do you do, Sergi? Because I know your story a little bit, and I think it's fascinating. But for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about you, where you come from, how did you even get into e-commerce, and what do you do today?
yeah, sure. So I've been in tech my whole life since I was 15, probably. I started working very early and got very excited about internet. And I remember the first time I got my first computer and internet, obviously started building the websites and exploring like everything. But like over the course of my life, I worked for the startups, different companies, tech, cryptocurrency, pretty much trying to find myself. And I landed on e-commerce in 2015 when I joined marketing company, Get Ranker, based off Santa Monica here. And I probably like fell in love with e-commerce right away because it was it was like an intersection of everything that I was passionate about: the business, the commerce, the design, the tech, the storytelling, now branding. So it was kind of like a one big field where I felt so like skilled, and I wanted to learn everything and kind of like move from one discipline to another. I started with user experience design, then tech, then marketing, then learning a little bit of a business. So everything combined gave me this diverse background. And 2019, I quit my corporate job and started my own agency, CommerceMate. What we do, we work with Shopify merchants. We help them build, build, and optimize stores.
Interesting. That's do you do FBA at all, or you just do you just build Shopify websites?
No, we focus only on the Shopify and the Shopify Plus. So that's kind of our niche, and we work with supplement, fashion, and beauty product.
And you said you left your corporate job. Why was that? What made you do that?
That's a good question. I think I got to the point where I felt that I no longer challenge myself, and I learned a lot that I can now uh, sort of like give back and help other people building their businesses. And I felt maybe that it's time for me to do something different. So the corporate job, it has some benefits, obviously, but most of the time it's kind of like a very routine and boring type of work. So you have a lot of top to bottom control. You don't have a lot of freedom. And for me, being able to have a holistic approach and work on the project holistically and specifically work directly with the founders or the CEO of the company was very important.
Was that a very hard decision for you to make? I know a lot of people just continue staying in a corporate job forever because of the stability that they think it provides. How was that transition for you? Did you ever think like, oh my God, like how am I ever going to pay my bills? Or no?
Mm, Not really. I felt very confident. I saw the market emerging really fast, specifically when it comes to Shopify. I've been following this company since 2014, and I knew that what they did successfully, they democratized the commerce and they made it accessible for smaller brands and for anyone pretty much who wants to start their own brand and start selling online. So I knew that the market is there. I knew that my skills are good enough and I can come up with a good service and value proposition. But decision didn't come difficult because I also sort of like build the community of people who are very entrepreneurial and their mindset very entrepreneurial. I have maybe like a very few people who work 9 to 5. All my friends are either running their startups or doing their own agencies. So for me, it wasn't that difficult. I just needed to find the perfect timing, and I felt like 2019 was the time when I can finally quit.
Okay, so having the right minds around you has really helped push you into that decision.
Absolutely. It influenced me a lot, and it's still influencing, and it's a great motivation for me. Knowing lots of success stories and just seeing how the hard work and sort of like dedication can get you, how far it can get you in life, it helps me a lot.
So for I don't ever get anybody from that knows so much about Shopify on this podcast. So would you give us just a little bit more info on that for those that maybe don't even have a Shopify store? I meet a lot of sellers who they just have their store on Amazon and they're doing really great, and they barely ever consider of having a Shopify store. So why do you think that's important, and what are some things that somebody can start to do like today?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the key differences between the Amazon and the Shopify is probably the mindset behind the consumer purchase decision. When someone goes on Amazon, they primarily go because they want a convenience and affordable price. They want something inexpensive and they want it delivered within like a day or two and be able to return it if they don't like it. When someone is shopping direct-to-consumer brands, they probably looking for experience and the story and the product quality. They're less concerned about the price. So I think these are the key differences that I see in terms of approaches when it comes to Amazon, selling stuff on Amazon and selling stuff on Shopify. Shopify, it's all about branding and perceived value of the product, when Amazon, it's all about, for me personally, convenience and the pricing. Another big advantage that I see when you own your own channel, like let's say direct-to-consumer channel, you pretty much all own the whole chain of communication and data and everything that's related to your customers. So you know exactly what they do, how they do, their preferences. You can reach out to them directly. You can build your email marketing automation channel. You can build your own customer support channel. So you have way more freedom to build your brand the way you want.
And do you see a lot more sellers going to this route more than before with the pandemic happening? I mean,
yeah, I see a lot of companies trying to not switch, but add the direct-to-consumer to their channels, and they're exploring this route definitely when it comes to switching from Amazon, just Amazon, to direct-to-consumer. But again, the problem that I personally see is maybe the expectation. So people coming from Amazon to the Shopify expect that things will be probably the same way and they will see the same conversions and the same numbers, but in reality, it's slightly more complicated. And in order to be successful in Shopify, you have to do a lot of work in terms of the branding, like I said, storytelling, because that's what people are looking for, product presentation. So you have to do a lot of work on the online experience type of things. And I see also very often the tactics when the brands, they take what they have, the product on Amazon, and rebrand it and kind of like launch it as a separate brand on a direct-to-consumer on the Shopify. More elevated, higher quality, etc.
And do you utilize Facebook ads, Instagram ads? Like, what are your primary traffic sources when you have a Shopify store?
Well, it really depends. My recommendation would be obviously to try all of them and to test and figure out, get some benchmark data and figure out which one works for you best. Because really depends on the product category and your audience, the channel, Facebook or Instagram or Google or Pinterest. It can be like really depends on the product category and audience. But in reality, you need to have them all in order to get good performance, in order to good results. So it's not only exclusively Facebook. You really have to balance between having a good paid traffic versus your earned media and traffic that comes from SEO or content strategy, etc.
Do you help your clients with that as well, with the marketing side of it?
Not right now. No, we only focus on perfecting the online experience, and that's our goal, to be able to provide the best possible experience for our clients and make sure that whatever traffic they drive to the website, they get the best value on it.
So what makes you the best when it comes to Shopify stores?
Well, I think what makes us the best, and maybe we're not the best, but we definitely know what we're doing, is our focus and our expertise and experience. So our niche, we work with a specific type of product category for a long time, and we know it very well. And Shopify is our bread and butter, and I know pretty much everything about this platform, and I can help not only with building the experience, but also with the automation and like a high level strategy when it comes to like a next steps, what to do next.
Can you give us just maybe some tips for someone that's just starting today? Like, what should be the first thing someone should do? I mean, beside finding the perfect company to do this, what if not everybody knows? So what
Absolutely. Well, if you're just starting today, my to-go advice would be just to get a turnkey solution. Go on Shopify, create your account, download the free or premium theme, upload your products, and run some testing. So my to-go launch strategy for Shopify would be minimize your cost and get to the numbers as soon as possible, get a benchmark numbers. And then you can always iterate, learn and iterate. So I don't prefer the approach where people spend $150,000 building very expensive stores and they don't work and they start changing something and they confuse. So I recommend always start small, get your product as soon as possible, try to get run some ads, and then iterate on that information.
I love that. I think that's really good. And I think it's so important for people to understand that there's different places where you can bring traffic from. I mean, we love Amazon and it's fantastic. It has brought us together. And all of those who are watching right now, I would like to see a little bit more diversification when it comes to where the products are being sold. And unfortunately, I still see sellers who don't use other channels. Right now, we see a lot more sellers coming in and moving towards Walmart a little bit, which I think is fantastic. Really, really good. I think Walmart is going to really blow up and get pretty close to Amazon in the next 5 to 10 years. But that's just me. Who knows what's going to happen? What is your take on that on Walmart?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not an expert, but I have the same feeling. I share the same sentiment. I think Walmart is another big marketplace platform, similar to Amazon, with its own rules. And it's great that we have now 2 or 3 big players, and people can go and compare prices and buy from different places. It's amazing.
Exactly. I like that. With Amazon always changing, I just saw that they changed the limit again, and some people were happy, some were not, and it's such a nerve wracking platform. You never really know what to expect, and I hear it every day from those who I work with. They're always stressed out when they feel like they got it down to a science and now that everything is good. And the next thing Amazon changes things. So yeah, it's very important to have that. And Shopify has done wonders for you, right? Like you see that for your clients. You said the ROI is not as high as on Amazon, but do you see that moving in the future due to like all these brand awareness? Where do you see Shopify going?
It's hard to tell where Shopify is going, but I think in terms of the ROI, definitely there are some movements and changes that's happening even right now with introducing of a new iOS and the Facebook and all these rules changing. I think overall the direction would be for brands on Shopify to build content and to build audiences and connect with their audience and be as authentic as they can. So like Facebook changing and iOS changing the game, the rules of the game all the time. So you can't rely on the paid traffic all the time. Also competition, like so many brands, the market is so saturated with similar brands that are competing with each other that drives the price for the ads even higher. So I think the future would be for alternative channels and like let's say we can talk about email, SMS, definitely content strategy, SEO, maybe like a TikTok, you name it.
And I've been very interested in SMS marketing lately. Do you know much about it, or you're just starting to play with that a little bit?
I'm starting to play with that. I have a few clients that we consult and help them with the strategy. It's definitely a great channel. It's definitely something that I recommend everyone to explore at some point. It really depends on where you're at with your store or brand, but very personalized, and we see a lot of success for our clients working on the SMS marketing.
Right. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and we were just talking about how most people, because there's always people that don't do this, but most people will open every single text messages that come to their phone, whether they respond or not. That's a different story. But most people like to read every single message that comes through, which this will never ever happen on an email. I mean, I think the opening rate for an email is what, like 25-30% maybe.
Yeah, 25,
Um,
30%.
and when it comes to text messages, it's it's a higher than 90, I would say, if not more. So that's definitely something to take in consideration.
Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely right. In terms of open rates and overall performance, SMS on paper would be better, but it's also different channel and you have to treat it differently. It's way more personalized. And I think when it comes to SMS marketing, it's all about the timing and the cadence. So you don't want to get too annoying and you don't want to make sure that your subscriber not going to get overwhelmed by the amount of messages you're going to sell. So there are some rules in place in terms of how often you can send those messages, promotion and messages. But overall, I think all these channels are great when they work together as one big machine. So it's not like just email marketing or Facebook. All the great success and the best results come from combined results of all these channels working together. Having a good Facebook campaigns and a strategy that will include top of the funnel, mid funnel, bottom funnel, having a great website online experience that will increase your chances to convert. And if you can't convert, obviously we know like 97, 95% of customers, they leave the website and never do the first time purchase. You'll want to try to maybe capture their email or phone number and reach out and start building that relationship with them via email or SMS. And obviously the retention is another big part of DTC and Shopify. So how much of you can retain the customer and make them come back and make another purchase.
Absolutely. I love that. It's we have to we have to utilize really everything that's out there in such a competitive world. Why would you want to just stick with one thing? So I
Exactly.
100% agree. Do you advise your clients that come to you that say, I just want a Shopify store? Do you tell them, hey, I think you should consider using this strategy or this strategy, or you just kind of let them choose their own? How far do you go when you help somebody?
Most of the time, I do advise. So the clients, they come to me pretty much knowing where they want to be, but they don't know how to get there. And our job is to get them the proper foundation, build the online experience, and provide them with a proper strategy for the next steps. And often it depends on how big is the brand and whether it's an emerging brand or it's a scaling brand or a well-established brand. So we do strategy and we come up with like a year annual plan for their marketing strategies and the features, marketing tools, platform integrations, etc.
I love it. No, this is exactly what I would want if I wanted to go to somebody and not have any idea about it. I would want somebody to help me out throughout the way. So I think that's brilliant. So what do you do to stay on top of everything new? Or you into masterminds? Or do you go to events? Like, what is it that you do for your continual growth, self-development?
Yeah, definitely following all the events that I can follow, listening to podcasts, self-education, talking to my peers and partners. We have a good partner network, and I think Shopify did a great job with building their community around their platform. So if you have any questions or you need someone else's advice, there is a tons of people that work and it's basically very easy to get help from someone. And they do lots of different events and conferences. Last year, obviously, was tough due to the COVID, but hopefully next year we're going to be able to meet up again and see each other.
But you're seeing some events opening up. I know there's a few that I think me and you are going to see each
Yeah.
other at that we just found out about. So what are some that you can think of right now that you're going to be joining this year?
So the closest event will be in Miami, May 23rd. It's going to be Geek Out event. It's one of the biggest event, I believe, this year, and it's all about marketing, traffic, sales, and e-commerce, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I know the people that organize this event, so I look forward.
Yeah, I love that event. I was just telling before we came on that I went for their first one, and I really, really loved it because it wasn't just Amazon per se. Like there were people there having different, different stores on different platforms, and there were different niches that I haven't seen before or heard before, and it makes you open up to new strategies. I think one of the members there, he has this show, I think, on Discovery, and he is like giving away every single month a huge truck and this whole giveaway thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like you can find out so many ideas from being around people who do different things than you. This is what I love, because when you have a conversation with somebody, they may say something, and next thing you know, you're thinking of ways to apply it to your business. Well, it doesn't matter if that's a store on Amazon or not. And that's what I love about getting feedback from all these people. I
Absolutely.
really like Geek Out. Really, really liked it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think the event that we met the last year was also very good. It was like a small group of
Yeah.
people, similar mindset, everyone like talking about e-commerce and different strategies and things that they do successfully. It's really nice.
I love meetups. I think the one you're talking to was a meetup. I think it was Mina's meetup, was it?
Minas, yes.
Yeah, so he does the one in LA. Sometimes we do the one in San Diego, and we've been skipping months here and there. We all just been so busy, but then we have to remember like how helpful it can be for somebody just starting out, or even for somebody that's been selling for months or years and they just needed that one spark. That's all you need. So I think this event definitely provides that. I'm also looking forward to going to all these other events. Prosper is finally happening. I don't know if you ever go to that, and I think that's the end of July, and there's some other ones that I'm very excited for the end of the year. Like things just started opening up in San Diego right now, and I'm super, super excited. I don't know how it is in LA.
It definitely feels much better. More people like outside right now and people getting vaccinated, and think, yeah, I feel much better right now.
That's amazing. No, it was refreshing to see people out and just talking to each other, and it gives me a sense of happiness. Like, okay, we're back. So
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing
almost.
you at all of the events. I want to ask you, you mentioned earlier in our call that you started playing with like crypto and cryptocurrency. So are you dabbling in that a lot right now?
Not really. There was a period in my life when I've been working for the startup, and we had like a small exchange platform.
Mhm.
I was into crypto in the beginning. I really got excited about the technology and the blockchain, and but um, yeah, I kind of like lost the faith and changed my mind about it, and it's just not something that I'm really interested in professionally. So I'm more of a e-commerce type of person.
But do you own any cryptocurrency?
I used to. I sold it 2017.
Wow. Okay. So you would have had a lot right now had you not sold it. But
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can see it's like a missed opportunity, but I don't regret. Definitely had a great experience, and I learned a lot about crypto, and I enjoyed working with smart people building something. But at the end of the day, just not my passion, and I don't want to pursue it.
yeah, I for the longest time I didn't even care about it. I remember I had a friend who told me about it, I don't know, 5, 6 years, and it was like a few $100s for Bitcoin. And I had the same response that I had now. I was like, I don't understand it. I don't want to do it. Of course, now it went up to 50,000. And now for the first time in my life, I bought some. I'm like, I know
Nice.
I should have bought it back then, but I'm more like you. Like I want to learn things and how I don't know where this is going to go. Maybe it's going to go, and it's going to multiply more and more and more, but I want to try things on my own, because it's one thing when you ask somebody to explain it to you, and it's another thing when you actually go in and do it yourself. So same thing with Amazon and Shopify and all of these. If you just have like analysis paralysis, you're never going to start anything. So in this case, yeah, I hope it goes up and it makes me a lot of money. But if it doesn't, I feel like, this is the time. I don't want 10, 20 years from now to be like, you know what, I had an opportunity to do it and I didn't even care to try it. So I'm the opinion that you should always try something, even knowing small things about it that you can conversate with someone about. I think that's very
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I keep an eye on the crypto. I follow all the recent news, but I just not in the game of buying and selling it. I'm not trading it, and I'm no longer in the field, in the industry.
Yeah, I just started for the first time now. I got some Bitcoin, I got some Ethereum, but this is my strategy. I always go for the ones that people know and talk about. It may not be the best. It's just my strategy. Like I've done the same with stocks. So for stocks, for example, the ones that I currently own are, the ones that are pretty popular, like Tesla, Amazon, Alibaba. During the pandemic, I got some of the airlines and some of the cruise line. So I'm not like, oh my God, super savvy investor that's like researching all this. I just usually go by what I know and what I hear. And so far it has been on my side. So we'll see how the cryptocurrencies turn out in 10 or 20 years from now. We'll have to catch up then and and talk about it. But yeah, I just think it's so good to just stay up to date with really everything that's going on these days, because this will be history at some point. So.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, Sergii. Thank you so much for sharing some wisdom on Shopify. But for those that would like to talk to you and get in touch with you, how do they find you?
The easiest way is just to go on the website, CommerceMate.co, and go to the contact section.
Okay, perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing you at some of the events. I'll see you in Miami. And hopefully we'll get a meetup together soon, and hopefully you can come down to San Diego.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your time and for the invitation.
It's been great.